Help support Friendo Club by going to patreon.com/Steven Larson or clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Access to bonus episodes, question threads for the Going In Raw podcast, and entry to our monthly wrestling predictions challenges. Join the Friendo Club today. Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, oh boy, The Rock came out, dropped a big old heel promo, and a lot of people are pointing at various Easter eggs to see if maybe, possibly, potentially, he could turn on Roman Reigns.
Well, I mean, Roman literally said before The Rock came, everything we say that has meaning is important.
It's information you need to digest. Exactly.
Yes, you need to listen, you need to pay attention.
There's seemingly a lot of different scenarios that could play out at the upcoming WrestleMania 40 event, Larson. We're going to talk about all those and the rest of SmackDown as well. So we'll just go ahead and mention this really quick. What is this? This late Friday night, early Saturday morning. It's technically early Saturday morning, but to give some context, it's late Friday night. So if you're like, closing down the bars, guess what? You can come hang out at the Going In Raw, people. And hang out with at our pub, which isn't going to close until like 6 a.m. Pacific time. Yeah, opening up at 2 a.m. Pacific time. Of course, that's closer. That is 5 o'clock on the East Coast. So a lot of you are going to be, getting you could theoretically get a solid 8. If you go to bed at whatever 9. I guess.
Yeah. Not us. No, I'll probably I'll try to go to bed at 9 and get up at 1:30.
I don't know what I'm going to do, Larson.
I can't stay up that late anymore. I can't do it.
I'd
be a mess.
And do on a regular basis, but that's my wall.
You stay up until 2. Yeah, you don't stay up till 6.
No, God, no.
That's what I'm talking about. I could probably stay up till 2, but then
that's when it starts.
I'd have to work an additional 4 hours.
Yeah.
Probably. No. I'm going to try to get a couple, 2, 3, maybe 4 hours of sleep. Otherwise, I won't be able to do it.
Yeah, it sounds like misery. By the way, for the live crowd, let me know if Larson is on the low side or if I'm on the high side or vice versa or whatever.
Yes, please. We got this new way going.
We got like new stuff going on here.
New stuff going on. So much appreciate everybody. All right, let's get into this Rock business. The Rock says. So he's introduced by Roman. Roman says, new member of Bloodline, The Rock. So The Rock comes to the ring and runs down the entire state of Utah, specifically those in the arena, but the entirety of Utah.
Throws out a multiple wives joke, too.
Yeah. 50 wives, I believe he said.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he had the $500, not shirt, sweater.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things to
sweater, it was a vest.
Sorry, vest. That's what I meant to say. Vest. Vest. There's a lot of little Easter eggs, a lot of little clues about where this story is going. And as we mentioned earlier, Roman said, pay attention. You understand what we're talking about. So there's a couple instances during Rock's promo, like when he called, in theory, the Cody Crybabies spoiled brats, essentially. But he's looking right at Roman when he says it.
Yeah, every time. I'm going
to make sure that you walk out of WrestleMania what you are, a loser. He's pointing in Roman's direction when he says it.
Yeah.
And instead of holding up the 1, he made an L or
a gun,
which Cody does. After he won the Rumble both times.
Yeah. He does this thing.
So, and also on the back of his vest, what was on there? A leopard. It looked like. And what's the saying?
Something about spots.
Loser spots. So I don't know how you can interpret that as Rock's always been heel, or hey, this is a facade. I'm babyface Rock still. I'm like a secret agent here to infiltrate Bloodline and help Cody.
Well, there's also Rock loves being cheered, and you might think also back to Philly in 2015 when he was booed when Roman Reigns won the Rumble. He comes down there, he's like holding his hand. He's like, "Why are they booing me?"
What does this sound? I have not heard this in a long time.
Yeah. So there are definite Easter eggs that people like to pick apart. Let's go sort of big picture in terms of where we were at the last time we saw The Rock on WWE programming, that press event.
So last time we saw, like, everything at the time, they were kind of hinting tag match. Now, you've said no tag match, and I was like, yes, tag match. If the idea... So here's the thing. One way or the other, The Rock's turn on Roman at WrestleMania Night 2.
Okay.
The only thing in question, I think, is his motives. Is his motives to help Cody, or is his motives to stick it to The Rock? If his motive is to help Cody at the end of WrestleMania Night 2, then I'm pessimistic there will be a tag match that precedes it on Night 1.
Wouldn't make much sense.
It wouldn't make much sense. They have to do the thing where the only person Rock wrestles in that match is Seth Rollins, which possible, but doubtful. If his motive is to turn on Roman, thus making Rock, solidifying Rock as heel Roman babyface, then the possibility exists tag match could still happen Night 1. And if Roman takes the loss there, that adds fuel to the idea that The Rock is just upset with Roman. He thinks he's a failure and a loser.
The approach that Rock took with his promo. Let's start with just the character stuff. On at the press event, he was more corporate Rock. I'm board of directors guy, basically. And Seth kept on saying that. You're out of control.
Yeah, you can't do whatever you want just because you're on the board, he was saying.
Right. Then he shows up, and it's basically 1998 Rock. Now, it feels like when Rock understood, okay, I'm going to go heel, the people are booing me, we're going to roll with this. He decided, I'm not going to be like bad guy corporate Rock, because I honestly thought the next logical story step would be Triple H comes out, says, you people need to know your role. It was a direct fire. It was a direct shot at The Rock, using his own catchphrases. I thought we were going to get the TKO board of directors guy come out with some sort of power play on Triple H. Now, maybe that could have been perceived as boring. What a boring way to go. You're going to, issue an injunction or something.
Yeah.
But instead, we got kind of really far away from that idea. And it wasn't really a response to Triple H. It was, I'm going to be 1998 Rock. I'm going to be kind of ridiculous. I'm going to, call people overweight and mention their herpes on their mouths. And we're going to have some fun with this. Which, number one, seems a stark contrast to what the rest of the bloodline is. When you see The Rock in that Versace vest and you look at Roman Reigns sporting a Roman Reigns branded hoodie, there's a bit of a difference there. So part of me is like, I'm really interested to see how these personalities are going to play off each other, because Roman Reigns is not that. But Roman Reigns also has some of the best reactions in the business.
Yes.
So that could be a lot of fun. As Eastside says, that could still happen. This might be just sort of Rock setting the table. And first order of business, the people who made this happen, the fans, I'm going to take it out on them. And then we're going to get around to Triple H. Maybe that'll happen, I don't know, and Friday Smackdown, they'll probably just come. Who knows? And so I was kind of surprised with that. From a big picture standpoint, in terms of the character, what was your reaction when you saw The Rock basically doing 1998 Rock?
Well, I mean, I guess it's the heel equivalent to what he's been doing as babyface Rock ever since he basically stopped wrestling, which is, to a degree, giving the people what they want. And he said sing along with The Rock is over. Referencing stuff he used to say back in when he was Hollywood Rock in 2003, whatever it was, 2001, whatever it was. So it's still, to a degree, Rock's greatest hits, just from a different perspective.
Mm-hmm,
and I guess superficially, and maybe that's the thing that they want to do is, hey, we're going to establish him first and foremost Friday as heel Rock. And he's going to blame the fans for this match, Rock Roman not happening. And he's going to promise to make sure that Cody doesn't finish his story. At least if you just kind of passively watch, that's the vibe you get.
Mm-hmm.
But again, when you get into the details, when you start really analyzing his body language, who he was directing various lines to, that's when I think it gets really interesting. I think if you look at it just superficially, all right, he's 2001 Hollywood Rock, whatever, fine. Or 2000, I can't remember which year. What year was WrestleMania 18? Because it was after that he started doing the Hollywood Rock thing.
So 2001. So to the Hollywood Rock would have been like
2002. 2000.
Yeah.
2002. So 2002 Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but again, when you get into the details of the promo itself and who he was directing certain bits of it towards, the line about you're going to walk out of WrestleMania what you are, a loser. He didn't say that into the camera.
And in fact, that line specifically, he paused as if he was, going out there. And I know he's an incredibly polished performer, but there was a bit of a pause, not a dramatic beat, but a pause in the performance to make sure he did his body language where it needed to be, which to me lended more credence to the idea that this is going to be a big swerve.
Yeah.
And it's always entirely possible that this stuff is chock full of coincidence. Rock hasn't, maybe it's entirely possible that Rock isn't entirely sure how to throw up the ones properly. And he did it like this.
That's a possibility,
I think that's a possibility. Well, let me ask you this. Realistically, do you think these Easter eggs, I think it's entirely possible that people are finding it. And I love this.
Yeah, totally.
The fans love to look for the Easter eggs and little bits and pieces. Is it possible that these were happy accidents to inform? Oh, really? You scoff at that idea?
No, I don't scoff, but once is a coincidence, and not only saying in Roman's direction, you're gonna walk out of WrestleMania what you are, a loser. There was another line too. I wrote down the notes where he's looking in Roman's direction.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And saying, at WrestleMania, Cody, your story is finished.
Our story is beginning. He says that.
Our story is just starting.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like there's a lot. I don't think. The obviously the Versace vest is a callback to the shirts he used to wear, but I'm sure there's a reason he got one with a leopard on the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And here's the thing. I honestly believe that a big part of The Rock coming back is, the WWE's game plan at this point really does need to be, and be it Cody or whomever, they seem to have chosen Cody for good reason, because he is clearly a draw.
Yeah.
Wildly popular, merch sells like crazy. Part of his deal, part of the agenda has to be to get the future going.
Yeah.
And Roman, the man, the performer, probably has no designs on being around even to the capacity that he's there for very much longer. Now there is, the idea of, well, he can be a super part-timer and still hold the title. They might want Roman to be the guy to have the modern day reign, if you will, over Hulk Hogan, in which case you'd need late September to be the thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if you really want to crown the next guy, what better way to do it than by getting The Rock's blessing? The Rock sort of being the guy to be like, okay, well, me and Cody, we got tons of history. I know this guy is on solid ground. People love a good turn, and for The Rock to be the guy that helps, with the coronation of Cody Rhodes, I don't think that's a terrible idea. I think that is a massive WrestleMania moment right there, like one that you can play back, endlessly.
Oh yeah. And with Mania being in Philadelphia, the same city where Rock tried to coronate Roman after he won the Rumble, 2015 was it?
Yeah.
To have kind of the flip side of that moment with The Rock, passing the torch to Cody. The response being a complete 180 from what it was when Roman won the Rumble that year. Yeah. I would suspect. Seemingly everybody loves Cody.
Mm-hmm,
yeah. That'd be a pretty interesting and a pretty cool moment if it were to happen. That's assuming we got Rock as sleeper agent in Bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
That's one possibility. The other is that Rock's just looking out for himself. It could be all these little Easter eggs, all these little clues in the promo don't necessarily mean that he's going to actively help Cody win at WrestleMania or just be there to prevent bloodline interference at WrestleMania. Could The Rock have another agenda that would lead to him versus Roman?
Wouldn't that other agenda necessitate Roman keeping the title?
Potentially.
And Rock ensuring that Roman keeps the title. But I think that sort of muddies the picture, unless they do a big angle after WrestleMania on the Raw after WrestleMania or Smackdown after Mania, where Rock actually turns on Roman, or Rock gets the rest of the bloodline to turn on Roman's face with the title, and they do a year-long story building to 41 where it's Rock versus Roman for the title. They could do that. I get the feeling, though, that the fans would still take that as, wait a second, you screwed Cody. Because you can have your cake and eat it too. If people really want Cody to win the title, if they're going to revolt if he loses again and Rock, then still turns on Roman, I feel like you can have cake and eat it too. Like the whole deal about Rock and Roman, I don't know. Like Rock's motivation for being A, pro Cody, and B, anti-Roman seem to fit perfectly together. It's like, Roman, you use our family constantly now, because that's the threat about Roman. And this hasn't always been the case, but this is, over the past year especially, every single match. Drew McIntyre said it exactly right. Every match ends the exact same way. It's the bloodline interferes, and Roman wins. And that's why people are tired of it. Rock could point at that and say, you're simply using the family because you're not strong enough, and it's actually a disgrace to our name. He could say something like that. And A, you need to be stopped. B, we're going to get that title on Cody. Rock comes out of it a face. Roman comes after Rock. They don't need the title. You and I have always been pretty firm on they don't really need the title for Rock Roman. You have the Ula Fala thing,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I the title gives Roman legitimacy as head of the table, but if Rock costs Roman the title and Rock is the reason that Roman loses legitimacy, then it's not just over who's head of the table. This is a very personal story then you could pivot to, and you could still talk about the head of the table stuff in the larger picture, but at its core it's a personal story.
There is this as well. WrestleMania 41 is, of course, about a year away from WrestleMania 40.
Roughly.
Cody could they're not doing these 6-month windows anymore.
They're not. I mean, there's other shows they say are equal to or better than WrestleMania Experience, but there's only one WrestleMania.
There's only one WrestleMania for now. Listen, Cody could win that title at WrestleMania 40 and not walk into 41 as champion.
Entirely possible.
Rock or Roman could walk into 41 as champion if Cody drops it to one of those fools late, or at the, I'm not going to say the Rumble, but like at Survivor Series. Right, exactly. Yeah. That's a distinct possibility. You can have your cake and eat it too. So I don't know. I don't know what that situation would be. It's kind of far away. Again, WrestleMania 40 is about a year out from WrestleMania 41.
Roughly. Yes. Give or take a few days.
So yeah, we'll see how that all goes down. But all in all, I'll be honest with you, it was not the most substantial promo I've ever heard in my life. It was wildly funny, and it is such a contrast. I'll speak on this again really quick. It is a hilarious contrast to see Versace vest Rock next to just sweatpants bloodline.
Yeah. I did like Roman's line in his promo preceding the Rocks where he says, "You're all idiots." Mm-hmm. Not individually, but collectively. When you get all of you in the room, you're all dumb.
Yeah.
No, I like that caveat. Individually. I'm not talking about you individually. Collectively.
And honestly, that's my biggest takeaway from this. And I hope they really roll with this, dude, is the contrast in personalities. Because Roman, next to TKO Rock, does come off like a little brother. Yeah. Having to deal with ridiculous Rock. Could you imagine? And I know this scene will never play out. Roman always likes sitting on that center couch, right?
Yeah.
Could you imagine the power play for the center couch between these two guys? Because Jimmy's done mucked up the side couch with his shoes.
Yeah.
And so the idea of like Rock sitting in the center couch or Roman sitting in the center couch and Rock coming, that kind of interplay backstage between ridiculous Rock and Roman, that's the stuff that I live for, because Roman's character stuff, the facial expressions, when even the little segment where he asked Heyman, "Where's Elimination Chamber?" "It's in Perth, Tribal Chief." "Oh man, we got to go to Australia?" "No, we don't have to go to Australia." "Oh, thank goodness." His facials are so good. Roman is a treasure. He really is.
Well,
And the idea of him having to deal with more,
I know,
silly personalities on top of already Jimmy and whoever else, I'm looking forward to that. I hope they explore that.
Me too. And you watch The Rock, or during The Rock's promo, you look at Roman, and he used to stand there with the title over his shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
He's just soaking it in.
Yeah.
Not even paying attention to anything The Rock is saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's just soaking it in and reacting to it. It's great stuff. It's really good stuff.
But I really do hope that that's something they explore further.
Same.
Anyways, before we get on to the rest of our SmackDown recap, Larson, would you like to pay some bills?
Let's do it. This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. You know, Steve, I'm sure there are a lot of people who might think that relationships need to be easy to be right. But some of the best relationships are those where both parties put in the work to make them great. I know that some of my most important relationships were strained back in my mid-20s, and I was dealing with severe anxiety, but therapy allowed me to learn the skills I needed to better cope with my anxiety and help me face the challenge of mending those relationships.
And therapy can be a place to work through the challenges you may face in your relationships, be it friends, work, your significant other, or anyone. And if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. BetterHelp is completely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. All you got to do to get started is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. Then you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
So become your own soulmate, whether you're looking for one or not. Visit BetterHelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
Asian Mur brings up the no yeet thing. It would be hilarious if Rock was all about the yeet.
Yeah, hopefully we do learn where Rock stands on yeet.
I would love I really hope they have fun with this. And Rock, you could tell more than anything, was having fun. There's a great fan video of him ringside, and they're all about to make their exit. And he's talking some trash to a fan and fakes a backhand. And then he sort of smiles and like gives an acknowledgement to the fan that, hey, we're all kidding around here.
Yeah.
And on one hand, it's like, yeah, he's totally like breaking character. On the other hand, the guy is having fun. And we've seen when he comes out there and he does this side says asshole and this side says douchebag, that's born as can be. And I know he's having fun doing that stuff, but I get the feeling that being able to let loose a little bit and be bad guy Rock, that's actually going to be really entertaining. I really hope that's the case, and I think it could be.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Before we get to our SmackDown recap, we got some business to attend to. Of course, we're trying to get 201,102 subs on the road to 222,222 subs.
On the road again.
So if you're watching, we got 744 good friendos watching right now. If you hadn't hit that subscribe button, please hit the subscribe button, that notify bell. We're about 300 and change away from getting there.
Yeah.
So we're hoping by WrestleMania we can get 201,102 subs.
What is it, 305,
thank you, everybody.
I think? 305, I think is what it is.
Who has subbed, who's thinking about subbing. Just put thought into it. Just go ahead and hit it.
You think some people all weekend were like, man, I watched their video on Friday.
It was good, but gosh, I don't know if it's worthy of my sub.
I want their notifications to show up on my phone?
I know.
Do I want them bothering me? By the way, speaking of notifications and episodes, we've got a brand new episode of Friendo Cast up right now. It's our bonus weekly show that we do where we talk about anything but wrestling. No wrestling allowed.
No wrestling.
I turned these color lights off back here. You can see what I look like in natural light. Not actually natural. These are sunlight.
No sunlight coming in there.
They are sunlight timed or colored, but
it's
not actual sunlight.
Not
right.
Sun, no.
If it was natural, like there's no light coming in here. But if you wanted sans colored lighting, then you can check that out. That's not the only draw. We have a really awesome discussion about growing up in the 90s on grunge music and where that took us. A lot of people here, a lot of the friendos are fans of music, as they say in Espanol, la música.
Correct.
So that's in the latest Friendo Cast. It's like an hour and 20 minutes long. We answer a bunch of your questions as well, all non-wrestling related.
I feel like we could have done a whole hour-long show just on music talk, because I feel like it was just tip of the iceberg. Because it was kind of the focus of the conversation, but what preceded what we were into preceding grunge, where grunge took us afterwards, all that kind of stuff.
Abs a Clown here says, listening to you guys talk grunge was amazing. Well, thank you, Clown.
Oh, thank you.
So, yeah, we have bonus episodes. We've got access to the question threads, and of course, we got access to the Big Blue Predictions Challenge, which is coming up starting on the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, and then heading into Revolution, where we're going to crown a new Big Blue Predictions champion, unless Cameron Shank can't successfully retain.
That's right.
The way you get these things, the bonus episodes, question threads, Big Blue Predictions Challenge, get all that stuff one of two ways. By going to patreon.com/Stephen Larson, signing up for the Friendo Club setup tier there. It's $5 a month. Or by clicking join right here at YouTube and becoming a channel member. That as well is $5 a month. You can get everything we talked about. We got 8 up. Actually, you know what's funny? We skipped episode 5 of FriendoCast.
That always happens. We did that when we did Numbers Don't Lie, when that was bonus content.
Yeah. I always, and that's on me for some reason. Every once in a while, I'll just sort of, skip a number.
You're looking to move forward.
I am, exactly. Yeah.
You just want to move forward.
Antsy to get on with it. So we've got 7 episodes of that Friendo cast up. So that's 7 hours of us talking about anything but wrestling.
Yeah.
And then we have a whole back catalog of bonus stuff as well, dating back years now.
We've been doing this a long time, 10 years to be exact.
We've been doing this for 10 years. Quite a long time.
Just going in Raw. We've been doing YouTube stuff for way longer than that.
True. Yeah.
Also,
later
if you're
on,
watching here, sorry. Got 761 friendos watching. Please hit that like button.
What's up, everybody?
We like the validation. Videos, when they get a lot of likes, I think it's good for the video. I don't know. I don't really know how to YouTube still, even though I've been doing it for 15 years. Nonetheless, hit that like button. Another reason just to make us happy.
Just another reason. If you're really intent on making us happy, then that's how you do it. Mr. J97 here became a new channel member.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very much. Also, we had some super chats earlier on. This one from Mickey G says, The Rock makes every wrestler of today look so mid-card, especially Roman Reigns, and just a 20-minute promo. The Rock is huge. He is massive. So that doesn't hurt. He's a WWE-sized guy.
Yeah.
Probably
285 pounds of pure muscle.
Yeah, he's a big dude. Ali here with the super chat also says, glad we've moved past you're a poopy head Rock. Au contraire, I don't know that we necessarily have, but it's a bad guy poopy head Rock. And that to me could be wildly entertaining.
Good. I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility he can say to Cody that his butt stinks.
I think that he might say, the space in between his butt cheeks stink. And then, he says this side say butt, this side say cheeks. But then they just boo him.
Yeah. And then there's like 10 people on each side that still say butt, cheeks.
Yeah, right.
Butt, cheeks.
Yeah. People have a hard time saying no to The Rock. The Rock says, anyways, The Rock arrives at the arena in a giant Ford pickup truck. He parks it crooked, the sign of a true heel, Larson.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've got a heel story
right there.
I've got a heel story of my own a little bit later in this episode. If you want to maybe remind me.
Does it relate to parking your car?
No, but it's a topic you and I have been at loggerheads in the past
picking up dog poop.
Got a good one for you today.
Why not tell it now?
Because we'll dive into the Smackdown review first. and then the dregs of the show. We'll tell that story.
All right, fair enough. I think he popped open a can of his energy drink too.
Yeah, what's it called? Big D Energy?
Zoa, I think it's called.
Zoa?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I wonder if that stuff is any good.
I feel like I've heard it. Maybe there's a new type of it because I think it's been around for a little bit. Because I feel like I've had it before.
Okay. Is it infused with mushrooms? Oh, Maggie says the peach flavor is delicious.
Yeah, that's my go-to for energy drinks. Is anything peach flavored?
Okay, there you go. All right.
I probably have tried it. I just don't remember much about it.
Elimination Chamber qualifier.
I will say this about SmackDown: they did focus quite a bit, maybe more so than usual, on in-ring action.
It was a beefy episode, wasn't it?
For wrestling, yeah, like this match, this Kevin Owens Dom Mysterio match. What, 2 segments at least?
Yeah, it actually went on. And you know what I loved about it? R-Truth, and I love this, didn't come off like a complete doormat and idiot. He's an eccentric character who can be easily manipulated, but he's finally at the end of the line when it comes to the Judgment Day. He comes out there and he's sticking it to Dom.
Yep.
And that leads to Kevin Owens picking up the win over Dominic Mysterio, and I love to see that. I like there's an actual evolution to R-Truth's character, and that's something we never saw back in the day. It was like a very one-note thing that never really went anywhere, And it seems like we're actually getting some character evolution. And it's great. This new regime, they can really get the most out of these characters. It's awesome.
I know. It's pretty great. So before the match begins, Dom, while making his entrance, tries to drop a promo between the boos of the crowd. He says Finn and Damien are going to retain their undisputed tag team titles. Mommy is going to stay world champion, and Dirty Dom is going to win the Elimination Chamber to complete the sweep.
That's correct.
And as mentioned, before our commercial break, R-Truth comes to ringside, distracts Kevin Owens. That allows Dom to send KO into the ring steps, and puts him in the ring, hits a senton to Tomiko, gets 2 there. Smackdown rolls on. We come back from commercial later on. Dom hits a 619, gets a 2 count there. Then Dom tells Truth to get him a chair. And he says, if you want to be in Judgment Day, you will bring me a chair. You're in if you bring me a chair.
Yeah.
So Truth goes and grabs a chair from the ringside, from the timekeeper area. And he's holding it like, is he going to slide it in or no? Instead, he just takes a seat in it ringside. And Dom's yelling at him. So then Owens hits Dom with a super kick and a pop-up powerbomb to get the win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought it was good stuff. And like you said, it went on for a while. Yeah.
It did. Next, we had a Drew McIntyre interview. Steve, I'll be Drew McIntyre, so you can be, LA Knight. So Kayla mentions Kevin Owens, latest superstar in Elimination Chamber. And Drew says, there's going to be top superstars in the Chamber match, and of course, they all want to win. But there's only one superstar who needs to win, not just for myself, but for Raw, the world title, the people, the savior of WrestleMania, Drew McIntyre. 4 years ago, my moment was stolen from me.
And he's interrupted by LA Knight. Let me talk to you. Look, here's the thing. You're talking about all this, and you're talking about your moment being stolen. Your moment can be stolen one more time at Elimination Chamber, courtesy of the man they call the Megastar, with everybody saying, LA Knight, yeah.
And Drew responds, you're good, but all that bravado, this over-the-top personality, I see through you. This all comes from a place of insecurity, and you should be insecure, because while they're behind you now, as entertaining as you are, when the bell rings, that's when you're going to lose them. Produce results. You don't produce titles. They'll turn on you just for 0. Look at my resume. Stacked.
Man, I'm glad you brought up that resume. Matter of fact, thanks for the advice, old timer. Which was hilarious because he's like 5 years older than Drew.
Yeah.
He says, here's the thing. When you talk about being champion, you haven't championed since I've been here of anything. Matter of fact, you talk about losing to people. That's exactly what you've done over the last 2 years. But I tell you what, when I look at this, and he's got Drew's shirt with him. Evidently, he's bought a shirt because he had it over his shoulder when he walked in.
Yeah.
That's a cute little shirt you got here, but there's room on that tombstone for one more name. I see CM Punk. I can see DM Hunt going right there. Your aspirations buried just the same.
And Drew says, there you go. Right back to making jokes.
No, there ain't no jokes. I'm being dead serious. And they start jabbing at each other, and the refs come in to break them up. It's like, we're just talking. We're just talking here, having some talks.
Like serious conversation, serious argument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Archer earlier said here in the YouTube chat, just for some context, says, where'd you get the name Big D Energy Drink? I saw Rock's tweet earlier today, and I sort of looked at it for half a second, and it said, Zoa's the only energy drink packing BDE, and it says here, Big Dwayne Energy. So I was like, is that what they're calling it? That's cool.
Yeah, it is.
And it even says hashtag Big D Energy. So I was like,
yeah.
That's like, I guess, the sub slogan for this brand of energy drink.
It could be like the tagline for this marketing campaign. Yeah,
I like that better than Zoe. What are you drinking? Big Dick Energy. I mean, Big Dwayne Energy. Sorry.
Roman arrives at the arena and gets out of the SUV, and he goes, "Oh, Jimmy, it's been a while. Come on,
bring
him this huge hug."
Jimmy has to look for a second. He's like, "Is it being trolled right now?
I know.
Is he about to toss me out of the bloodline?"
Oh, Roman's in such a good mood. He hugs him and goes, "Oh, let's go fix everything Jay messed up. Let's go."
Let's go fix everything Jay messed up. Jordo's Tech Shack, which is a great name for a YouTube channel, here has become a channel member.
Thank you.
Mr. Dope gifted a membership to the community. Thank you very much, Mr. Dope. We appreciate it. After that, we had an earlier in the day, Logan Paul arriving at the arena, followed by a Peter Dune and Tyler Bate interview where they get a name. Kayla asks, have they planned on continuing their success at the Chamber? And Dunn says, you know what, Kayla? Things are going great, and last week's living proof of that. All that's left to do is for the bruiserweight and the big strong boy to walk into Perth, slap the Judgment Day about, and walk out there with those tag titles. And then Bate's like, oh, Peter, my chum, music's my ears, mate. And Pete Dunne looks immediately annoyed with him.
He's rolling his eyes at him, I know.
He says, we've been doing so well recently. I think we're due for a new tag team name. So hear me out. New Catch Republic. Oh, you love it. You got that look in your eyes, I can tell. We're about to revolutionize this tag team division. First on the agenda, some unbelievable, and then Dom shows up. And he's like, you guys can't beat any 2 members of the Judgment Day. And Bates like, how about next week we test your thesis? Us 2 against yourself and our truth. Dom walking away says, our truth isn't even in Judgment Day. You should know this.
Pretty great.
Oh, Dom's my favorite. He is
pretty
awesome.
great. Pretty great. Then we have another Elimination Chamber qualifier. This one between Zelina Vega, Tiffany Stratton. Early in the match, before commercial break, Zelina hits some moonsault to the floor. And camera pans over, and you got all Legado to sitting ringside.
Mm-hmm. They bought tickets.
Yeah, they bought tickets. So later on, Stratton hits a cartwheel spine buster, gets a 2 there. She's looking for a moonsault. Zelina grabs her ankle and then hits the 619 to her legs, knocking her off the top. Then follows the Meteora off the top, gets a 2 there. So Stratton rolls to the floor. Vega follows. And then Stratton sends Zelina into the barricade near where Legato's sitting. So Zelina punches her, so Stratton gets back in the ring. And then Zelina turns around, yanks Elektra Lopez over the barricade, then throws her back over the barricade.
It was funny, yeah.
Gets back in the ring. Stratton kicks her as she's getting through the ropes, hits the sky high, and a moonsault to get the win. So Tiffany is going to be in the chamber.
Man, that moonsault hit. That connected. My goodness gracious.
To the midsection.
Yeah. A couple super chats here. Mayor Pete says BDE is the official energy drink of JR. Oh, man. Oh, man. Ryan Lambert says, is Prime the de facto Little Ween drink? Not going to get in all that. AJ Styles is sulking in the locker room. It says here in a locker.
It is. He's sitting in a locker.
He was in a locker, wasn't he?
Sitting in a locker. Not like the old high school metal lockers, but, like a pro sports locker room locker. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's sitting in the locker. Yeah.
That's
sulking,
great.
It looks like. He's got his hoodie up.
Goth. Yeah. Angsty AJ.
Yeah, super angsty.
I just found this new band called Pearl Jam. It's making me very angsty. I'm listening to this album named 10. It's so good. There's a song named Black. I'd listen to it if I got dumped by a girlfriend. Hey, AJ, you're the samesies. Anyways, so the OC, the Awk, walk in. Gallo says, we need to talk. And Mia's like, you haven't called us. You haven't texted us. Carl's like, I don't know why you guys care so much because AJ's clearly forgotten where he came from. Then AJ gets up. Pie face is Carl Anderson. Carl shoves him back. AJ slaps him, says, I haven't forgotten where I come from. And Carl says, oh, he's pissed. He's like, oh, man, if that was anybody else. And AJ's like, is that what's holding you back, Carl Anderson? Carl says, why don't you try that again? AJ walks out. I'm going to my trampoline. I got a trampoline here in the arena. I'm going to go on a trampoline.
That's where he goes for catharsis as he goes and jumps on his trampoline.
I'm going to bounce around and listen to Black. That's what I'm going to do on the 10 album.
Yeah. Then we got a quick little bit backstage where Paul Ellering is talking to Final Testament because AOP has their return match.
What do you think Paul was telling him?
He's probably saying, this is where I booked our hotels for the next house show loop. I'm assuming he's still doing the managing thing like he did with the Road Warriors, where he actually managed them,
He's like, listen, guys.
Here's your per diem.
A motel. Here's your per diem of $3.50 each. It's like this was a per diem back in 1971.
I know. Can we at least get 20?
Can we get a 20?
The algorithm says it's not in the budget.
Listen, I got this motel right next to the Golden Corral. So that's where we're going to have brunch.
Lucky for you, when you get a room for a night, get 10% off your bill at Golden Corral. The algorithm says you only pay 90% of what you
we're going to wake up at 4 a.m. Early bird special.
Yes. That's in the fine print.
Oh, man. Anyways, after that, we had a Io, Asuka, and Kyrie promo. This was rad. Io says, Bailey, you like to pretend like our success is all because of you, but you're wrong. Damage control may have started with your vision, but we made it what it was. We became champions because we're strong. Bailey, I'm not the same superstar you brought to SummerSlam a few years ago. You think you can choose to face me at WrestleMania and win? It's Io's era, and it's going to stay that way when I embarrass you on the grandest stage of them all. And Asuka says, and Dakota, if you think you could turn on us with no consequences, then you're just as stupid as Bailey. And Kyrie says, you better sleep with one eye open because we're coming for you. And Asuka says, no one's ready for damage control. I kind of hope Io wins at WrestleMania, man.
I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility, depending on when the reveal of whatever Dakota's true alliances are. If it's this is all a big ruse to cost Bailey the match at Mania with Dakota, and Dakota turns on her there, I think it's entirely possible Io wins.
I think it's too early for Bailey to get the best of Io. You know, I kind of want to see this play out a little bit longer, and that means that she loses. Bailey loses at WrestleMania.
Then we had Javier Bernal.
Yeah, big body Javi.
And Bo Morris taking on AOP. This match did not last long. Not a huge surprise. AOP hit him with a super collider. And then powerbomb neckbreaker combo on Bernal to get the win.
Yeah. I don't know how much, if any, Javier Bardal has been featured on NXT. More or less than Luca the Lawyer.
I feel like less than Luca the Lawyer because, I'll see clips and stuff pop up on social media from NXT, and I have not seen Javi at all.
Yeah, same. Remember there was that period of time when he was like all over the place?
Yeah.
I've not noticed him. Less. Wow. Frolicious says Pontus says never. Is he like in the... You think he's been demoted, or do you think he's like in some sort of weird purgatory, some limbo between NXT and Maine? This makes me think he's been demoted.
Yeah, I think so. Because Vermillion says he's been non-existent on NXT for a while.
What's up with that?
White Brownie says less. He's barely on level up.
Wow. But okay. Wow.
Who knows?
Not good.
Then we had a Logan Paul interview. And Byron Saxton that says, hey, this is your first match on SmackDown. And Logan says, yes, this is my first ever live televised match. And I want to say you're welcome. To you, to the entire WWE universe, you guys are welcome. So why don't you get on your phones, you go on to X, whatever it is you peons do, and get a little thank you Logan hashtag going, because tonight they're going to get to see me knock out The Miz live on SmackDown. I'm the only champion in these qualifying matches, so I'm going to win my match tonight. Go to Australia, going to win Elimination Chamber, and then mark my words, I will rematch Seth Rollins at WrestleMania and become the World Heavyweight Champion. That would make me, Logan Paul, a double champion.
That was a good promo there from Logan Paul.
It was.
I did not get on Twitter to do the hashtag, but I kind of wanted to.
No, I don't. I really don't tweet. I'm certainly not going to tweet a hashtag thank you, Logan.
Yeah, he's pretty good. After that, we had The Miz versus Logan Paul. And another really solid outing here from Logan Paul.
Miz did a hammerlock flatliner. He's busting out new moves.
I know. It's good stuff. So the finish here saw Paul look for a sunset flip. Miz rolled through, locked on a figure four, but Logan got to the bottom rope. Logan rolls out of the ring. Miz follows. Paul drives Miz into the apron and throws Miz back in the ring. And then he goes to his crew to get some brass knuckles. And Miz is able to, he comes back out, blasts Paul from behind, picks up the brass knuckles, tosses them aside. Miz puts Paul back in the ring, but then Paul hits Miz with the right hand, follows with like sort of an STO type move. Right before he did that, he looks
tried
in the
to
camera.
call it like a different version of the skull crushing finale. We had him like in a bear hug and then tripped him.
Yeah. Yeah, if going from standing position to not standing is a variation on that, then fine.
Yes, certainly is. There are a lot of moves that are variations on the skull crushing finale. Then
exactly. But I did appreciate he looked right in the. It was a very smooth moment. Like he knocked him out, hugged him, looked into the camera, said, "I'm heading to Australia," and then hit the variation on the skull crushing finale. After that, we had Nick Aldis backstage with Jade, Braun, and then like off to the side, Liv and Bianca are there, but Jade and Braun are looking at contracts with no lawyers present. Tiffany steps in, walks up to Liv and Bianca. It's like, I know you saw me win my qualification match. You know, I'm a little new around here, and I don't really know how the chamber match works. Do I pin you first, Liv, or do I pin you first, Bianca, or vice versa? And Bianca's like, I've actually won a chamber match before, so you're not talking to me. And Liv says, watch me. And then Jade interrupts like, hey, I know you're not doing this during my big business meeting. Like, imagine that. Aldis is like, hey, come to a business meeting. And you've got, like, a concurrent business meeting with Braun Breaker. What is this contract? I can't read. And then you've got, like, an argument. Like, what's Liv and Bianca even doing there in the first place?
Well, they showed earlier, I think it was during the Logan Miz match, that all of them, Aldis, Jade, Braun, Liv, and Bianca were up in the luxury suite. sitting watching that match. Maybe it was one of the earlier matches. So maybe this happened not just necessarily backstage, but some of those luxury suites,
they're pretty big.
They could be pretty large and go back a little ways.
Good point. Yeah.
And maybe this was still in the suite.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, to me, Jade made this actually makes a lot of sense. You've got all this chaos right here. Braun Breaker, his name is Braun Breaker. Fine, I'll just sign it. I can't read. So he signs, and Jade's like, this place is a mess.
Yeah.
So she's probably going to go to Raw because Adam Pearce somehow, some way, comes off as less of a mess than Nick Aldis in this situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see how that works out.
Yeah. So then Aldis, anyway, steps in and says, now's not the time or place to Tiffany and Bianca and Liv. And he goes back over to where Braun's at. And Braun's like, yeah. Yeah. He seems happy with the deal in front of him. So Aldis is like, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we have the qualifying match for.
What do you think? What do you think it was in the contract that Braun Breaker saw and was so excited about that made him sign with SmackDown?
See, I don't think he's motivated by money per se.
Same, right?
No, he's got that dog in him.
Okay, yeah. You
what
think
would
milk
feed
bones?
the dog within Braun? You have to answer that, and then you know what the incentive is in that contract.
Private bathroom. Your own private bathroom.
Why would the dog within Braun want the private bathroom?
I don't know. Because that relates to my story later on about.
All right. I feel like now's just the time to do it, Steve. We're 48 minutes into the show.
Are we in the dregs now?
No, we're not, because we're not even finished the SmackDown recap. But this is two references you made to a dog poop story.
We're on the Braun Breaker segment, so fine. It's fitting. So this morning, I'll preface it by saying this. You and I have had this debate a lot.
Yeah.
I take cues from my father, rest in peace. He used to not pick up after his dog would poop. He really wouldn't do it like in lawns. Like that's going a little too far. Like if it's a front yard or like a sidewalk where people normally walk, like a walkway, I mean, he'd probably just sort of brush it off to the side or whatever. Like, but he's not the kind of guy who'd pick it up and carry it around in a bag, And so I've always been like that. It's like, hey, it's just dog shit. Who cares? You're the kind who is adamant about not leaving dog crap anywhere.
Just pick up after your animal, yeah.
Right, exactly. I live in an area it's suburban, but it's also fairly rural. It's like rural wannabe. How there's not like a ton of sidewalks. And so Lacey and I were on our walk this morning, and we're on this stretch of, Gypsy had wanted to crap in front of the school, and I was like, no, come on, you gotta hold that in. We're not doing that.
Do you even have like a thing of dog poop bags on your person? Okay.
It's on her harness. Yeah. Okay. It's there if I need it. So we make the turn, we're heading to the woody area that we go to for our walk. And there is an area that is like there's like a big, like there's this house with like this immense front yard. It's like huge. It's like not a farm, but I mean, there
public park in their front yard.
Basically, yeah, it's massive.
The size of that, yeah.
Then there's a fence, and then there is a gravelly area in front of that, a fairly large one where we walk on. There's like puddles, et cetera, et cetera. Across the street, there's a row of houses. Gypsy stops and shits. As soon as we make 2 steps after she shits, this lady from across the street opens her door and says, "Do you guys need a bag?" Because this is always my go-to. I have this ready if anybody tries to check me. I say, no, we're going to pick it up on the way back.
Why would anybody do that?
Why would anybody do what? Because it's fresh and gross.
It's going to be just slightly less fresh, and is it going to be slightly less gross in 20 minutes?
So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the longer it's out there, the more bacteria is released from it. It's going to smell a lot less. Yeah, absolutely. So at that point, it was like, should I make this a lie and just keep on going? Because it is a one-way route that we usually take. There is no coming back. So, so then, Lacey and I was like, was this lady waiting for us? Was she at her? She's like younger. She's like Gen Z, maybe super late millennial. Was she waiting at her window? Did she happen? Lacey claims that her window blinds were closed. And so I don't know what her deal was. Was she waiting for this situation?
Let me ask you this. How often does your dog poop in that particular vicinity?
Often.
Okay.
So.
And this is a house across the street, right?
Across the street, but this area is not like a common walkway. And I'll add this. This is my major point of validation for me. Horses. A lot of people in that area have horses. There are giant mounds of horse shit all over the place.
Okay.
So if you're not going to bring that energy to Mr. fucking Ed, don't bring it to me. I wanted to say that, but instead I just gave her the line, we'll pick it up on our way back. Okay.
And they didn't. And so next time you walk through there.
We actually did.
You actually did. All right.
Instead, we did the loop around the woods and came back, and I picked it up, and I sort of like dangled it at her window.
Wow.
I was like, I started doing this. And then the house just over, like it's still like not on her side, but on the side we were at. First set, because it's garbage day today.
Yeah.
There was a garbage open right in there.
Yeah.
So yeah. I was like, okay, maybe I should make it a lie and just not pick it up and see if our picture ends up on like, what is it, the neighborhood app or Facebook,
or the next door or something like that.
Next door, yeah, exactly, something like that, yeah. So, yeah.
You don't have to worry about any of that if you just pick up dog poop. No one's gonna come out asking you to do it. You just do it and it's done. You don't have to worry about
yeah, but I'm okay with I don't care about people coming out and asking, because I'll just say, I'll pick it up on the way back. Did it last time. Maybe I'll do it this time. Maybe I won't. So she's going to be sitting out there monitoring dog crap.
Pick up your dog's poop, Steve. Pick it up.
Oh, man. So, yeah.
Anyways, after that, we had another Elimination Chamber qualifying match, Naomi versus Alba Fire. Naomi gets the win here. That awesome submission finisher she does. I'm curious when they're going to give Alba Fire and Isla Dawn some wins as a tag team, because they're an actual tag team. And they're a good tag team.
Yeah, they're a good tag team.
Really good.
They're a depth tag team right now, though. But everybody, I think you just wait long enough, they'll get their opportunity.
Yeah, hopefully. Naomi has new music. It's not I'm a May Zing anymore. It's not that. It's new.
Yeah.
New music. What do you think of new music, Steve?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't notice. I think I kind of fast forward a little bit through the entrance, because I was fast forwarding, I think probably the commercial, or I was doing something else during the commercial, and then she came out. I think I didn't notice. So the question is, what do you think? Is it better or not as good, or what?
I saw on social media they said people were saying it's similar to her Impact music. They've been phasing out music they used years past in favor of new stuff. So I guess I'm not surprised there's a new theme. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, not sure. I mean, I'm assuming it was like CFO $, or maybe it precedes that even.
It might. Going back to the poop story, Steve. HH Hot Pie says horses don't consume meat like dogs, so dog poop carries bacteria that horse poop doesn't.
What a nerdy response that was. My goodness gracious. Nah, man, I think people, I don't think these people know that, though. I don't think that's the reason why they're coming after the dog shitters and not the horse shitters. I don't think they're like, oh, that's got bacteria in it. You've got bad bacteria, and this has got good bacteria.
Well, it wasn't a mention of good or bad bacteria. I know it could be the same for horse poop. I don't know, but dog poop can spread disease.
Oh my goodness!
Okay.
I'm not putting it in anybody. I'm not putting it in anybody's sandwich, man. I'm not even putting it in their front lawn. This is an area that basically nobody goes to.
I don't know, man. Dogs get loose. Things happen.
What dog gets? What are you talking about? My dog doesn't get loose.
I'm not talking about your dog. Other people's dogs.
What are they gonna do?
Some people let their dogs walk in front of with no leash.
No, I understand that. Are you saying they're gonna like eat it and then take it and do something with it?
I've known dogs to eat dog poop. I've known it to happen.
Yeah, no, I know. I know they do. I don't know. What are yeah, I don't know what you mean there. You're saying my dog shits and then another dog comes over, eats it, and then gets something from that.
I don't know. I assume you keep you keep the vaccines up on your dog. I'm saying just basic philosophically speaking, I don't want other people's dog poop out there, because then if my dog's sniffing something and like in the morning I don't have my contacts in, I'm like, what are you sniffing? And I look down and she's got her nose in some other dog's poop. That's going to upset me.
Don't you keep your dog on a leash though?
I do.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. But it's not like, I don't get what your point is.
Well, because I don't get what your point is.
All right. I don't want my dog. Personally, I don't want my dog.
But you keep your dog on a leash, though. I mean, honestly, that's just to me, that's the reason why people should leash their dogs.
Absolutely. But as I say in the morning, when I wake up and I take my dog out first thing, I don't have my contacts in. This is just my own experience. And she's sniffing something, and I can't see what it is immediately. Then if I look and if I get close and find out it's poop, then I'm like, oh shit, somebody left their dog's poop there, and it's going to upset me.
Oh shit is right.
Oh shit is right. And I don't know anything about that dog. I don't know if it's a stray dog that's not up to date on their vaccines. I know my dog is.
Yeah.
But nonetheless.
Yeah. I don't live in your neighborhood, so that's not going to happen with you, though. See, this is why it needed to wait till the dregs, man, because this is the conversation that really should be in dregs.
See, here's the thing. You're never going to be swayed off your no picking up dog shit philosophy, and I'm never going to be swayed to not pick up dog shit.
Right. So why are you debating me with this subject here? Because I'm not going to be swayed.
Yeah, I know you're not going to be swayed.
Right. So Bailey's walking around backstage. Hopefully there's no poo-poo back there. But Braun Breaker's back there. What's that?
Depends if you've been back there with your dog.
No, but then I would pick it up because people are walking around backstage like Bailey. So Dakota Kai walks up to her and says, I need your help. Did you hear what the girl said? What?
In your old neighborhood where you lived before you moved to your current house.
Yeah.
Sidewalks.
Yeah.
Did you pick it up then?
Of course, because there's sidewalks and there's like lawns there. I live in a place where there's horseshit everywhere.
All right. So you feel justified. All right.
Yeah, completely and totally justified. You're going to be one of them dudes that like waits out near your window and is like, do you need a bag?
No, I'm not going to do that.
You going to put pictures on Nextdoor app?
No, I can't stand Nextdoor.
Yeah, I know. It's the worst. It's full of people who are waiting by their windows for people to bring their dogs by to crap. And I tell them that they need a bag.
People, at least in my neighborhood, would be kind enough to pick up after their animal. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, you think your neighborhood's so much kinder than mine, huh?
Considerate enough to pick up after the rain.
Hey, Gypsy, guess where we're heading?
Yeah, you go poop all over my.
We're going to Larson's neighborhood.
But here's the thing: if that happens, like I'm the only one in my street that walks the dog, so guess who's gonna be blamed for all the extra dog shit in the neighborhood? It's gonna be me.
You know, I love Mr. Dope has a right. This is cut and dry. Leave the shit on the grass. It's dog shit. Oh man! All right, can we move on with Smackdown, please?
Sure.
We'll get back to this conversation. Maybe Friendo Cast 9 will be dog shit conversation.
Oh, we're gonna spend an hour trying to sway the other person why not either picking up or not picking up dog shit is the way to go.
Yeah, I'm still unclear about the whole a dog off the leash will go eat the shit and that's a problem situation.
Well, it is potentially for the owner of that dog. Yeah. They don't know what's in that dog shit.
Dogs eat all sorts of fucked up things though. That's the thing.
I understand. But if they eat dog shit that's full of bacteria or something, and then even when our old dog, when I had her all up to date on, it wasn't dog shit, but we were walking back to our apartment and there was a drain with a little water left in it, and she stuck her face in there and licked a little bit up and got sick from that.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And it was like a split second that happened.
It's crazy how much shit and stuff my dog, like literal and non-literal, my dog can ingest. Like, we'll go to like I said, those puddles. Some of those puddles have like oils in them and all sorts of shit. She'll just go and start drinking. I'm like, get out of there. Stop doing that. Yeah. But she loves it. And she's probably already reaching life expectancy. So at this point, I'm like, whatever you want to do, dog, that's fine. If it makes you happy, have at it. You've lived a hell of a life. I love her to death, but man, oh man. Anyways, all right, so let's go ahead and get on with this, man.
All right, Bailey's backstage. Dakota walks up to her and says, I need your help. Did you hear what the girl said about me? Referring to the damage control promo earlier. They're going to come after me. I don't know what to do. I need your help, please. You're the only person I could trust. And Bailey goes, oh, really? I saw what they said, and I really appreciate what you did last week, but this has been going on for months. I don't know who I can trust. And Dakota says, all right, sorry. Thought everything would be okay and better after we achieved everything we wanted to achieve. And Bailey interrupts her and goes, listen, you have to understand where I'm coming from, all right? I can't do this right now. So she leaves.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at some of the chats here. This is interesting. Bree says, my neighborhood is the Wild West of dogs. There are dogs everywhere for some reason. I was walking down the street in Bree's neighborhood and just get accosted.
Dogs everywhere.
Roar, roar, roar. Anyways. So yeah, this Dakota situation. I don't like it. Don't trust her.
Yeah.
After that, Nick Aldis is on the stage. He says, ladies and gentlemen, as many of you know, I've been negotiating with multiple free agents for Smackdown for you, the WWE Universe. Pleased to announce that one of these individuals is no longer a free agent. Please welcome the newest member of the Smackdown roster. Braun Breaker, yeah! He comes out, he throws up his ones, shakes Aldis's hand, a couple photographers snap pictures.
There was like one dude with like a full-on DSLR size camera and someone else that had a little camera like the size of mine. The one who was actually like, the gimmick was professional photographer, and the other person seemed like someone who jumped the barricade to take a quick snapshot of Braun.
Right, exactly.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah, no, that was pretty funny. He jumped the barricade. And Braun doesn't. Braun's the kind of guy that he would beat the shit. He would spear the crap out of somebody.
Yeah, I know.
There are certain wrestlers like that. You just know if somebody jumps the barricade. Oh man, if
it's gonna be a problem for him. Yeah.
It's going to be a problem. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
huge problem.
How do you make this leap? Coach John Pliskin here, who's a channel member, says, so Steve is the kind of guy that pees in his backyard when the bathroom is in use at home. How do you get from one to the other?
Yeah, those aren't related.
I don't think those are related. Like, one, I understand the knock on the dog poop is inconsiderate. I get that. I understand that. I kind of don't care, but that's just being inconsiderate. Me peeing in my own backyard is like, I don't know. That doesn't seem necessarily, that's like my own backyard.
Yeah, that's your own space.
Yeah.
Because
like
if you let your dog go out there and poop in the backyard.
In my backyard?
Yeah.
Bro, there is so much of it back there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like every once in a while I'll go and I'll be picking it up because like Bama plays out there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, she dumps out there a lot. My dog's digestive system, it just cleans everything out. It's crazy. Like we'll be on a walk, she'll dump out twice.
Mm-hmm.
She'll do one in a place that she also is kind of an exhibitionist in that whenever there's somebody around, and maybe she just knew that lady was watching.
Oh, wants to show off. Look at how good I am at pooping.
Right, yeah. Because like when we were walking in front of the school and she was getting on the grass and she had that look in her eye like, hey, dump's about to happen. There was a couple dudes in the parking lot busting out one of them little radio control cars. They were going to do that stuff. And I was like, nah, man, I don't want to do that in front of them. And we're in front of the school. I don't want to do it here. It's too public. It's too public.
So why don't you want to do it in a space that's too public?
Because it's more likely that somebody's going to give me the stink eye and be like, you're going to pick that up.
All right.
That's why. I don't like dealing with people.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why.
All right.
Does that explain it?
Yeah. No, I get it. I see where you're coming at there. That's the way around that. That's all I'm saying. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. What people giving you a stink eye. It's a simple thing to do too.
It's a Larry David thing. It's like, mind your business. It's dog shit. It's not hurting anybody. It's not going to kill anybody. It's dog shit. It's not a big deal. It's really not.
Is that your reaction when you step in dog poop too?
I don't step in dog poop because I watch where I'm going.
If you were to step in dog poop, or say we're playing basketball. The other day, someone left a giant turd strewn all over the place. And what if that?
Yeah, and what did we do? We cordoned off the area.
Let me finish.
By the way, may I remind you that whenever I show up to play basketball, the generosity that I display whenever you're like, Steve, there's poop right here, I'm the one who gets out the plastic bag and puts it away. Why? Because I know that you are a bit of a germaphobe.
I have no problem. See, I have no problem with a plastic bag picking up poop.
So
I just don't happen to have bags in my car. I do. I
for being so generous and
thank you. And there's been times where I did have a bag in my car and I picked it up and threw it away. So don't take all the credit there. Let me finish my statement.
Oh yeah.
If there is a giant poop, even dog unknown origin.
Yeah,
and
right.
We don't notice it before we start playing. You going after the ball, run to the grass to get ball, and you step in this giant turd of unknown origin. Could be dog, human, who knows?
Yeah.
Would you be like, no huge deal, let's keep playing? You'd be like, oh shit, I gotta clean my shoe off now because this is vile and disgusting.
I'll be honest with you, man. I don't like dealing with hypotheticals. You know what I mean? Bottom line is,
you're avoiding the question.
I keep an eye. I know where I'm stepping. Do you know where you're stepping, Larson?
I try to know where I'm stepping.
Exactly. No pop.
You don't know where you're stepping. I've seen you out there. I know for damn sure you don't know where you're stepping.
Oh, I know where I'm stepping.
You don't know where you're stepping.
I know where I'm stepping.
No stepping.
Roman Reigns had a promo next.
So he comes out with the bloodline. He takes the mic from Heyman and says, Salt Lake City, acknowledge me.
Acknowledge me.
Can I be honest with you all? I want to be honest with you. The people of Utah, well, you're idiots. I did not say individually. I meant we get you all together like you're pretty dumb. Tonight's a big night. I don't want you to ruin this because when my cousin comes out here, you might just go dumb and say catchphrase this. But this is the thing. Everything we say has meaning, has purpose, is something that you need to understand. Tonight is history. He's telling us all. We got to pay attention to what's going on in this segment.
Yeah.
So that makes me feel like nothing is coincidental here. Tonight is history. Tonight is the greatest night ever in WWE. So the crowd starts chanting for Cody, and Roman responds, that guy ruined everything. Yes, Cody, but tonight we fix it because tonight is about history. Tonight is the first night that we can say that The Rock is a member of the Bloodline.
That's right. So The Rock's music hits. He walks to the stage. Immediately, you know where you're going with this because he's got that $500 Versace vest. Walks to the ring. Back from commercial, Rock has a mic. Rock says, now before The Rock drops some gospel on you, The Rock has some good news to share. Something that's going to make you happy. Something you can own. Tonight, it is official live on Fox. You have broken an indoor attendance record. Let me ask you this really quick, Larson. When he said you've broken an indoor attendance record, you sort of saw he was wearing sunglasses, but there is a spring in his step. You knew he was going to go in a different direction with this, right?
Yeah.
So he says, you've broken an indoor attendance record. Big pop from the crowd. Not only for the city of Salt Lake, for the entire state of Utah. Congratulations. Well, here's the record you broke. The largest gathering of trailer park trash The Rock has ever seen. Now, if you didn't like that, you're going to love this. Finally, your life has meaning. Finally, you and your 50 wives will have a story to tell. You know what I'm talking about? You'll have a story to tell your 600 inbred grandchildren one day. And that's what it's like to look at greatness in the flesh because finally, The Rock has come back to Salt Lake City. So the crowd starts chanting for The Rock. He continues, says, you've all brought out a side of The Rock that you haven't seen in years, but you see, this side of The Rock has always been in here. You shut your mouth, fatty. The Rock will come out there and slap the herpes off your lips. You know why you're seeing it tonight? Because it's The Rock and Roman Reigns, the biggest Mania main event in the history of Mania. You had it in your hands, you let it go. You flushed it down the toilet, the same toilet you sat your fat ass on and tweeted, we want Cody. Cody's gonna finish his story. You're laughing and booing now because you know it's true. Let The Rock ask you a question. What is Cody's story? What is the story? Let The Rock make it clear. My cousin, the Universal Champion, beat Cody's ass last year at Mania. He beat him. Cody lost the match, and all of a sudden he wants a rematch. That's his story. That's not how it works. I mean, think about it. Think about how stupid that logic is. Think if you could apply that to sports. Hold on a second. I know you inbreds want to chant what, but still sit there and shut your mouths and listen to The Rock because this is important. And The Rock's going to educate your ignorant asses. He continues. Apply that stupid logic to any sport. The 49ers just lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. What do? Did the 49ers do? What do they say about us? We need to finish our story? No. They took their lumps like men. They stood up, dusted themselves off, and they moved on like men. Now, everybody in this arena, in this city, in this entire state, you should know this. It's personal. Michael Jordan came in here and crushed the dreams of the Utah Jazz, the end of the Utah Dream story. What did the Jazz do? They worked their asses off to get back to the top. That's what they did. The real world doesn't work like that. You don't get another shot at a story just because you want it, and you don't understand that because, and he looks and he turns at Roman, you're spoiled, entitled little crybaby bitches. Cody Rhodes, The Rock, is going to do everything in his power to make sure that you, and again he turns to Roman, walk out of WrestleMania what you are, which is a loser. Cody, your story is just ending. Our story is just beginning. The Bloodline, the most powerful duo in sports and entertainment in the WWE. If you smell, and then they start channeling, no. Sing along with The Rock is over. You lost that privilege. Sit down and enjoy The Rock is taking you on. If you smell what the Bloodline is cooking. And they throw their ones up. People are also pointing out the lack of logic in The Rock's analogy there, and that
Oh, yeah, I know.
Cody did bust his ass to get back. He won the Rumble.
He did what the Rock said the Utah Jazz did. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I guess is even more of a heel move then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
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 So yeah, I thought it was a wildly entertaining one. You know, yeah, it was fun to see 1999 Rock back. It was.
Yeah. 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 It was.
I do appreciate somebody I did a hot takes Wrestle Juice thing, and somebody said nobody in this story is making a lick of sense, but it's all wildly entertaining. You know, if you go back to the snafu with Cody saying I'm not going to do this at WrestleMania, and then he does again. You know, I thought, that's sort of, I'm okay with that because it is so funny.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll try to retcon it so it makes sense somehow, some way.
Yeah, we'll see. KMR here, member for 12 months now.
Thanks.
Says, bought tickets to WrestleMania 39 expecting Rock versus Roman and will go to 41 for that bout. Cody's just another WrestleMania boyhood dream come true that I could watch from my television. Ryan Lambert here says, Steve going to start a new YouTube channel, Wrestle Sharts. There you go. You know what a shart is, of course, Larson.
I do.
It's when you fart and you poop your pants.
I'm aware.
Yeah. Maggie here with a $5 super chat, although it's a priceless one, says, Google says, it's a belief in some cultures that stepping in dog poop is a sign of good luck and good future prospects. See, I'm just trying to give good fortunes and good luck to the people of.
I'm sure that's your
of my
motivation,
town,
yes.
Larson.
I'm
Well,
sure.
it is now. Thank you, Maggie, for pointing that out. Once again, Maggie is my champion. Let's see here.
Kamari Best with the super chat says, "Who does Bianca face at Mania? If not Jade, I can see her versus Tiffany Stratton. I could see that too.
I
could see that.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see. I'm curious to know if they'd give Tiffany a solo match this early in her run.
Yeah, who knows?
We'll see.
Rich Hardesty with super chat says, "How do you think Money in the Bank cash in plays into this story? Into Cody and Roman? It doesn't.
I would say it doesn't.
Not going to.
Yeah.
Ali with super chat says, "How big is Batista's energy drink?"
The Big Est, apparently.
Apparently,
it's the Big Est.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I'm gonna answer some questions, Steve.
Let's answer some questions.
Merle Alexander.
Merle, what a great name.
That's a great name. Says, new member to the Friendo Club. I saw someone on Instagram say that Roman planted Seth and Cody planted The Rock. The big reveal would be at Mania, Scorsese style. Oh, like The Departed. Thoughts at the end of WrestleMania, does a rat run along the ring apron?
Yeah, make it a little obvious there.
I know, make it way too obvious.
I can't. Hey, that would be kind of crazy if they pulled off a big double switch like that. The Shield gets, or almost Shield gets back together, and Cody and The Rock are standing side by side. That'd be kind of interesting.
That'd be interesting. Would be interesting. Gregory Fiella says, if The Rock and the Bloodline come to Sacramento, what types of jokes and insults would be said? Wasn't the Rock concert was in Sacramento?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So yeah. I guess watch that.
Yeah.
Might call us to Cowtown.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Probably.
Let's see here. My goodness gracious. The Blind Mask has a great question. What clothes would you guys change into to signify a Rocky type heel turn?
Wow, that's good.
I would get into my child's best friend keeps on calling me incessantly. I would change into my dog walking apparel.
Oh,
Look,
there you go.
I fully am self-aware, Larson. I understand that I'm the bad guy in this situation.
You're a menace. You're a menace to your neighborhood.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All right. And you
willingly, joyfully a menace.
Revel.
Because as Mr. Dope says, it's just dog shit.
Yeah, it is dog shit. I have a red velvet blazer. Maybe that.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. What a dapper heel you'd make.
Guess so.
Yeah.
David Matushek here, been a member for 10 months, says The Rock is giving the starting command for the Daytona 500 right now. The Rock is keeping himself busy.
He is. Well, he's got a lot to promote coming up here.
The Rock said, start the race.
The Rock says, start the race. Elemental Giant. What stipulation matches should happen at Mania this year?
Gauntlet match. Night 2, all gauntlet match.
The Logan Paul and Kevin Owens in a 4-corner strap match.
Oh gosh.
What a terrible match that is.
Or a flag match. How about that?
That's even worse.
Andrew Connolly says, do you think you start the Uso feud tonight on Raw? I don't know, because they've kind of been away from each other for the most part, save for the Rumble briefly.
You got to do it at some point if they're going to do that match. I don't think they're going to do that match this year. Like, they did one bit in the Rumble. I don't know.
I know.
It's possible still, maybe Gunther versus Jay. They could continue out that feud. This is going to be a good Raw tonight because we got that match.
Cody and Drew, yeah.
Cody and Drew tonight, yeah.
Luis asks, is Smackdown a must-watch this week? I don't know. You can read what the spoilers are and make that judgment for yourself. I didn't see what they were yet.
From what I understand, there might have been a road for Bronson to get back into the chamber.
Interesting.
That might be set up this week on SmackDown.
Well, it'd have to be because next week's too late.
That's a good point. I'm saying one of the angles could clear the way for him, but they might not go in that direction. I don't know. Snowman says, do you think there's anything else big that can happen to change WrestleMania now that we're so close? The main event, I don't know, maybe there might be some twists and turns, but it seems like they're firmly going with with Roman versus Cody.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it remains to be seen if they're going to do the tag match or not.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there's a lot I think that could change, but no, I would imagine Cody versus Roman, save for injury, is locked in.
Yeah.
Logan Taylor asks, what are your favorite pro wrestling books?
Oh, mine is Guy Evans' Nitro.
Yeah, I started reading that.
That's a great one.
Mick Foley's first book is a lot of fun to read.
That's a really good one. Mikey7G says, I hear a lot of people say that matches are the worst part of wrestling. I disagree, but I do think they're too long sometimes. Do you think it would make wrestling more palatable if the average match was 5 minutes shorter? No, because I feel like the average match is like 7 minutes, in which case the average match would be 2 minutes long, and don't think that's long enough.
Squash match territory.
Yeah, I think that there's enough variation in match length to keep it palatable.
Yeah, I think so too. But we are people who enjoy the wrestling aspect of wrestling.
I like the graps.
I like the wrestling. B-Man wants to put us on the spot here. What's the best card, top to bottom, from peak NXT TakeOver run? Is it the New Orleans one with a North American ladder match?
North American ladder match. You'd put probably Gargano Almas, right? Wasn't that like your favorite?
This card top to bottom. Yeah, that was Philadelphia. I'm trying to look at the New Orleans one here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were building a bet.
So New Orleans had the ladder match. Had Shayna versus Ember Moon for the women's title. Undisputed Era versus Authors of Pain. And, that's when Roderick Strong joined Undisputed Era.
That was a good one. Yeah, that was a good one. What was the main event?
Alistair versus Andrade, and then Gargano versus Ciampa in an unsanctioned match.
Oh, that's a really good card. Yeah, those were all really good. I don't know if you
can top that one.
Yeah, that was peak NXT right there. This is a great question. David says, if you were to be duped by a 10-year-old video that you thought was recent, much like Meltzer did, what would you be bamboozled by? Boy, that's a great question, but it's such an on-the-spot thing.
10-year-old. So we're talking
2014, like thereabouts.
I don't know. I don't know if I could be duped by it.
So the deal is in the newsletter. Some people are asking about this. In the newsletter, Meltzer mentioned that there was a segment taped backstage at the press event between Rock and Triple H where they were teasing a WrestleMania match between the two of them that only aired on social media. That happened 10 years ago during an episode of Smackdown, I believe. Mm-hmm. And Meltzer was led to believe that it was
a recent thing,
a new thing. Yeah. I don't know. That's a great question, but I don't have. Ryan Rubik's Cube says Simon got shoot video. That's a good one. Let's see here. Oh, this is a good question. Big Boss Jelly Snake says, how would things have been going right now if Cody hadn't left AEW? What would be the main? Well, it'd be Rock versus Roman.
Yeah, it would
That'd be
Rock
the main
versus Roman.
event. Rock versus Roman. Who do you think would be in the Cody role right now? Sammy?
Yeah, maybe Sammy or Seth. I don't know.
Sammy, maybe Owens. Maybe
Yeah,
Owens would be
Kevin
in that
Owens.
role.
Maybe Kevin Owens. I mean, as far as what would Cody be doing in AEW unless he turned heel and decided he's going to break his word and go after the AEW title, it'd just be more Cody Island stuff.
Yeah.
Anybody knew that came into the company, he would wrestle them, lose, and then beat them, and then on to the next.
I think by now, don't you think Cody would have found a way to write himself into the title scene again?
Yeah, probably, but he probably would have required a heel turn to do it.
Yeah.
Babyface, you can't break your word like that.
I think eventually he would have gone heel. He would have had to have.
So. Cameron Bordolazzo says, what are the odds with how successful the Super Bowl was this year that WrestleMania will be in Vegas next year? Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me.
Oh, yeah, I could see
one of
that.
the reasons they had the press event in Vegas.
I could see that. I could see that for sure. Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's all the questions I have over here.
Andre Zimpel says, I just recently listened to the latest Friendo cast where you guys talk about music you listen to. My question is, what is your hot take when it comes to music? Andre says, I get a lot of hate for this, but mine is that Pearl Jam is a more enjoyable band than Nirvana.
Is a more enjoyable band than Nirvana? My hot take on that.
I don't know if you consider this a hot take, but this is something that I feel like has a certain amount of truth to it. And it's not universal, but I feel like most bands, a vast majority of bands or musical artists, and whether they get there or not is something else, have at least one really great song in them.
Mm-hmm, yeah, sure. Yeah.
And again, they may never be around long enough to ever record it.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But I feel like anybody who picks up a guitar has one really good song.
I always like that. I've heard you talk about that before, and I like that. I think you're right about that. Man, I'd kind of go. My hot take would be this. I kind of believe it. After their first album, Pearl Jam, I'll put it this way. If you take their first album away, Pearl Jam's the fourth best grunge act.
Interesting.
That's my hot take.
Behind Nirvana, Soundgarden, and Alice in Chains?
Yeah.
Would they be behind Mudhoney too?
No, I've heard enough of Mudhoney to know. No.
You don't like Mudhoney? Interesting.
Yeah, some of their stuff is fine, but like it doesn't really do much for me. But yeah, I like Versus just fine.
Yeah, Versus is great.
I think it starts off really, really good. The first two tracks are amazing. I feel like once Daughter happens, it sort of falls off. I think there's other good tracks, but Daughter isn't Daughter the third track on that album?
Third or fourth, yeah.
Yeah, I think it falls off after that, to be honest.
Rearview Mirror is a good song.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all right.
I like Vitalogy a lot, though, so that's just...
I think Spin the Black Circle's a great song. They've got some good stuff on that album. But I feel like if you take away 10, they become they're not Soundgarden, they're not Alice in Chains, they're not Nirvana.
What else is on Versus? So Daughter is the third song. Yeah, Go, Animal, Daughter is the first three songs.
Yeah. What's after Daughter? Isn't it like Glorified G?
Yeah.
I don't like that song.
Yeah, it's not very good.
What's after that?
Dissident.
That's all right.
It's fine.
What's after that?
WMA. It's that kind of jam.
Yeah, next.
Blood is after that. It's catchy. It's fine.
Which one's Blood?
It's a real fast-paced one.
I think I like that one.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's what I thought it was. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
Rearview Mirror.
Yeah.
Rats.
No, that's stupid.
Elderly Woman. Leash.
Leash is okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Indifference. It's the last song.
I like that one. That's
Yeah,
fine.
it's fine.
That's a mid album when you think about it. It starts off amazing, but the rest of it's kind of
really
mid.
good.
What's on
really
Vitalogy?
No,
Starts off with Spin the Black Circle.
No, it doesn't. Starts off with Last Exit.
I like Last Exit.
It's a great song. Then Spin the Black Circle, then Not For You.
Oh, I like Not For You.
Tremor Christ. I like that.
That's all right. Yeah, I like that.
Nothing Man.
That's a good song.
Whipping. Great song.
Oh, I like Whipping. It's the Whipping.
Cry 2.
What's that?
One? Pry 2. That's the next one. I don't remember.
I don't know
think
what
that's
that
like a
is.
little instrumental bit. Corduroy, great song.
Which one? Yeah, I like Corduroy, I think. Yeah.
Bugs, that's the accordion song.
That's actually kind of a funny song.
It is. Satan's Bed, that's a catchy one.
Yeah, Satan's Bed is all right.
Better Man, I've heard that song way too much though.
Same.
Davanita, it's an instrumental little thing.
Hey, Davanita. Yeah, I know that one.
Immortality, great song.
Immortality.
And then Stupid Mop, that sound collage thing they close the album.
Heather says, no STP love. I don't consider Stone Temple Pilots grunge. In fact, when they first dropped, I was like, they're like the rip on them was like they're just clone Temple Pilots.
Yeah.
But after I like their first album's fine.
Yeah, the first album's good. It's got some good songs.
And even but when they got away from that sound, I liked them better, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I don't really consider them grunge. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
Thank you, everybody.
And indulging our conversation about dog shit. The debate rages on, Larson.
It does, and I don't think it's ever going to end because we're never going to agree on it. Ever.
Till next time, we'll see you guys around.
Goodbye.